How to improve spoken English. 6 key factors to make you success. Number 1. Making mistakes when you speak. The reason why people dare not open their mouths is because they are afraid of making mistakes. In fact, when you talk to foreigners, you will find that they often make grammatical errors, but when the meaning is clearly expressed, you can proceed to the next step. It's a pity that most students always think about whether their grammar is correct before speaking, instead of thinking about how to express their meanings. A foreigner once told me that if you want to express that you invited me to dinner, you only need to say 4 words: you, me, pay, and food, and I can guess from the look in your eyes that it is you. I still invite you. The look of longing is you invite me. The feeling of self-confidence is me invite you. Therefore, opening your mouth is the first step. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. If you make a mistake, then correct it, and then make another mistake and correct it again. You can only improve after repeated mistakes. Number 2. Learn from repeating. And is it useful to just open your mouth? I once had a classmate who took an English book every morning and rushed to the playground to read English aloud. It lasted for a year. He didn't know if he read it wrong, but he continued to persevere. Later, he created a language of his own. The whole world except himself, no one knows what he said. Therefore, we must learn to repeat. You should find a sound recording file with perfect pronunciation. Put it on your phone. Repeat it word by word, and imitate it sentence by sentence. Only by imitating and repeating can one's spoken language be biased towards the standard. So the next question is, where do you want to learn from and how do you learn it? 3. Learn in the morning. Early morning is the best time to practice oral English, especially when you just wake up. Your brain is clear and articulate. You have not eaten breakfast, and your brain is in a half-starved state with sufficient blood supply. Repeat half an hour to an hour in English for 21 days. Develop a habit. It's hard to not get up early on the 22nd day. How important is the morning? When I was young, my father got up at 6 o'clock every morning to play English to my sister and me. My father called it early sound. We were woken up by such English for 2 years. Although we didn't understand it at all, but later we began to understand what the correct pronunciation is. The correct pronunciation is like music. It also explains why we have a stronger sense of language than others. Correct pronunciation requires you to have English awareness, and early morning is the best time to cultivate awareness. Lasts 3 months. I once asked a classmate to get up early and speak English for an hour every day. Review the content read by memorized yesterday for the first half an hour. Recite the new text in the second half an hour. Take 1 day off each week, and review the key points of the first 6 days. 3 months later, he began to speak a pure American pronunciation. Although the pronunciation of some words is still inaccurate, at least he has grown by leaps and bounds. The power of 3 months is great, because he not only has the effect, but also likes this feeling. Now he gets up earlier every morning than the students in the dormitory and starts reading in a corner with no one. Of course, others will inevitably cast a sympathetic look. So what? Everyone who continues to do one thing will be laughed at by people around him. What about the laughter? One day you will make them unable to laugh. After all, the sweetest laugh is at the end. Recite vocabulary before meals. Recite vocabulary at night. Vocabulary is undoubtedly the top priority. Don't ask any teacher, "Can I pass the exam without memorizing the vocabulary?" That can only tell you that the focus is on participation. If a person tells you that you can get a high score and improve your oral English without memorizing words, then you must be a liar. If you want to make a breakthrough in 3 months, you must first make sure to recite at least 200 words every day. When you see this, you will say, "How is it possible? Are you crazy? So many?" Don't worry, you have 200 words. Even if you finish memorizing it, you will forget half of it, but you still remember half of it. So, be sure to review it the next day. In fact, you can recite vocabulary at any time, but according to scientific statistics, the best time to recite memory should be half hungry, and at night, because most young people are generally sleepy in the morning, sleepy at noon, and inexplicably high at night. So the effect of memorizing words is the best at this time. How to recite words. Let me talk about a phenomenon first. How many students took out a piece of paper when memorizing a word, and then silently copied the word on the paper, copied it several times, and then remembered the meaning of the word and it was over? How many of our classmates couldn't understand even after hearing the word? But when the teacher wrote this word on the blackboard, he was surprised to find, it's this word. Let me memorize it. I think many people have been shocked. Indeed, this way of memorizing words is called a useless effort, because such a method does not help in oral English. When memorizing a single word, you must remember the following things: reading, meaning, and application. The order should not be wrong. Read it aloud first, then memorize the meaning of the word, and finally make a sentence or recite the example sentence by yourself. Especially when you have the opportunity to use this word in your life, you will definitely be more impressed. When you start to memorize vocabulary, you will find that not every vocabulary is suitable for use in spoken language. Common vocabulary in spoken language is often just high school vocabulary. Really difficult words will not be used in spoken language. In other words, the vocabulary needed to practice spoken English is much less than you think. So, which words are commonly used in spoken language? The answer is, you must watch American, British and English movies. In conclusion, improve oral speaking English cannot be done in one day. We need to have perseverance, day by day. The most important thing is make it to be your habit. Then you will do it naturally. One day suddenly you will realize that your English has improved so greatly that you don't even believe it.